What is up, Flick fans? And my shirt does not accurately represent who I am. I just found it on sale at Marshall's one day, and it was really cool. Today, we are talking about Daddy's Home 2. It's also really soft, so stay tuned until after this video. I have one very special announcement about a giveaway that I'm doing on my Instagram page, and I have a very special announcement about my first ever early screening for a movie. If you know what movie's coming out next week, you probably know what this is. I get to see it before the embargo lifts. What? And the only reason that's the case is because you guys are so absolutely 100% awesome. So I watched Daddy's Home 2. Yeah, that's what this video is about. Daddy's Home 2. I watched that movie. It stars Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg? I love Mark Wahlberg. Anytime he's in a movie, I get to talk like this, and I'm going to do the whole review like this. That's not true. I'm not going to do that. But, I watched the first movie. I didn't love the first movie. It was full of some really funny bits and funny jokes, and I like Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell's chemistry. They have chemistry on screen. We've seen it before with the other guys. They show it again in Daddy's Home. I just didn't love the movie that they were in. Daddy's Home 2. Let's talk about the good first. So first off, I want you guys to know that there's not really a way that I can spoil this movie. I'm just going to talk about bits that I liked. You may consider them spoilers because they're moments in the movie, but trust me, I am not spoiling anything, and frankly, this is not a movie that I think you care if I spoil or not. I want to talk about Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Their chemistry on screen is absolutely fantastic. You can tell they love working together. You can tell they're having a lot of fun. I really enjoy Mel Gibson and John Lithgow as actors, and I like seeing them in this movie. You can tell they're having fun as well. And John Cena, he's not in the movie as much as I want him to be, but he's a really funny guy. My only problem here is he doesn't get a chance to stand out, but it's really nice seeing him. Good seeing you, John Cena. How you doing? And these kid actors, they're not annoying. The little girl, I think she might be the standout of the movie. She was a very good actress, and I cannot wait to see more. But she's a very cute little girl, and she does a wonderful job here. Oh, and the thermostat bit. There were some moments in there where I chuckled, and then there's a bit that involves a stand-up comedy show. I laughed at a couple lines by Mark Wahlberg. Some of the interaction between John Lithgow and Will Ferrell made me laugh, and I think John Lithgow does such a good job of portraying an accurate representation of an old man, like how an old man acts in front of kids. It's just so funny at times just seeing how my grandfather would act, frankly. Okay, if you couldn't tell, I did not like this movie at all. Didn't like it. I figured I would just save that comment for the bad because I hate ruining movies like this because this movie is going to be a movie that some people are going to go and they're going to really enjoy. They're going to have a good time. I compare it to a movie like Grown Ups 2. There's fun to be had in the first Grown Ups. Personally, I can't stand the second Grown Ups, but I do know people that like the second Grown Ups just because, in a way, it knows what it is, even though it doesn't accurately represent what it should be. And I compare that to this. When the movie starts, I knew right off I was not going to like this movie because it just begins just so abruptly. It moves so fast. It has just some major pacing issues. It goes from one scene to another scene to another scene. There's no transitions between scenes. It just cut. And it's so cartoonish. I mean, there's a scene where they're like, okay, parents, don't pull your phones out. And every parent pulls their phone out at once. It's like a cartoon. It's like something out of Family Guy. It just doesn't fit with the rest of the movie. There's so many antics in this movie. I'm so sick of comedy not relying on smart dialogue, just relying on the funny, silly things that happen in movies, like, oh, you're chopping down a cell phone tower instead of a tree, explode, boom, you should be dead, but you're not. There are so many moments in this movie where the characters really should be in the hospital. What that does happen once, but they really, all of them should be at the hospital because either something explodes or somebody falls off of a roof or somebody gets attacked by wolves, somebody stays out in the cold for too long. My goodness, this is not a safe movie. It's a horror film. But just like in a cartoon, when someone gets hurt, they're fine. You broke both of your ankles falling off of that roof, but you know what? You're good, Will Ferrell. You're fine. And not just the cheesy moments, the cheesy scenes. There's a scene where a little girl screams because her cell phone reception goes out and the camera zooms out. Like, how many times have we seen that in a movie? Just so many things that are overused, cliched. Am I overanalyzing? I know I'm overanalyzing Daddy's Home 2, but come on, it's Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Do we not deserve a better, a smarter, a more entertaining comedy than this? Oh, there's some antics. Ooh, something's going awry. Oh, nothing's working. There is no plot to this movie. It's just a family that is trying to work things out. There's so many side stories and things that we don't get solved, and you're an hour into the movie, and it felt like 2.5 hours at the hour point, and I'm like, how are they going to solve all of these things? And of course, they solve everything at the main end of the movie with, guess what? A musical number. And it's not a spoiler, I just want you to expect, I want you to know before you go watch this movie that it almost ends with a musical number. Oh, and I wrote this down on my notepad. There are so many Full House moments, in Full House when family member gets sad and they walk off and it's, oh, go talk to them. They need somebody to talk to them. There's like 3 times in this movie when a family member walks off, even an adult, they'll walk off screen and everybody's looking around. All right, I'll go talk to him. Oh, it was so cheesy. It was so whimsical. It was so it didn't fit with the tone. And the first one was kind of raunchy. It pushed the edges and it pushed the envelope a little bit. And this was a family comedy, and I think that kind of took away from Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg's character. Also, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but Will Ferrell was Elf. He was Elf at times in this movie, and I think he was a little bit more Elf in this movie than he was in the last movie. There's even a scene when he's walking through the forest and he's going, Dad, and it just sounded like Buddy the Elf, and I'm like, am I watching Buddy the Elf? His character got so stupid in this. He was stupid in the first one, but even stupider. Although I will say, he did make me chuckle at times. Overall, I'll say this. I think there are some people that are going to really like this movie. I personally wasn't one. I couldn't see past the flaws in the actual filmmaking and the acting and the way the movie was composed, and just the overall way that I felt watching the movie. I was bored, and I hate to give something a score that's this low with so many great actors and actresses in there. And by the way, the actresses just were completely looked over in this movie. They focused on the men. I didn't like that either because you got some great actresses in there. I'm going to give this movie a 38%. I'm sorry if that's a little too mean, but there were so many. I was bored. So what did you guys think of Daddy's Home 2? The only reason I'm reviewing this movie over Murder on the Orient Express is because there's not a lot of reviews on YouTube right now, so I figured if I push this out, it would be more likely to get noticed by people that aren't subscribed to me. But for those of you that are subscribed to me and you care about me, I appreciate that. Be sure to leave some comments. I want to start a discussion. I want to talk about movies. I don't even care if it's about this movie at this point. But this week, I'm watching a particular movie. It is called Justice League. I'll be watching that on Monday. I think I'm allowed to have my social media reaction as soon as I see the movie, and if you're not following me on the Stardust app, I am going to be giving you my 30-second reaction to Justice League, followed by a review as soon as the embargo lifts. Thank you guys so much for supporting this channel, and also giveaway on my Instagram page. All you gotta do is follow me and comment, frankly, on any picture you want to comment on. Comment anything random. I will like your comment. That puts you in the giveaway. In a future video, I will announce what the prize is. Thank you guys so much for everything that you do, and I will catch you later.